Hello folks, we don't often get the duster out for a 40-year-old set, but we're going to today because this is absolutely immaculate. Don't these, and these do suffer from the fronts, tiny scratch there. Look, it's scratched at some time. Let's see if we can get the, just down there across the meter. Wow. And it's here with its microphone. This gentleman has a fleet of lorries all with Amstrad 901s in, but today he sent a Harrier CBX. It's the right power lead as well with the 20mm fuse holder. May as well use that. I'll plug in my PA speaker. Let's hope it hasn't had any internal kiss of death. You know what? I think we ought to just open it up first. Just in case there's something in here we don't want to see. Dead mouse or something. So we have cleared the backlog. We're now just got I think there's 3 or 4 sets from the trucking and farming gentleman. We'll do those every other with other jobs. I bought a smashed up, I'll probably show it you later on in the video. I bought a smashed up box of handheld bits, because in the smashed up box of handheld bits I spotted the remains of a great, is it GT417 handheld? You know, the big handhelds like the Sertel one and that. Well, every time I bought 2 greats. It was a pair inadvertently, and they were AM. So of course the only thing we've been able to do with those is use the aerials. And this has come with an intact aerial, but no, only half the case and the meter missing and that. And I reckon I'll be able to build it back up, because I've never seen a great one before. I thought there was supposed to be one, which is how I ended up buying 2 illegal ones at one point. Tell you what, I think I ended up paying 40 quid for those 2 illegal ones, which was pretty naughty. There's nothing naughty in this though. Oh, I've got this, that's the aerial instead of the test set. Right, let's see if we can spend 10 minutes on this. I'm going to have my tea. Initially we'll use the factory mic. Okay, we'll get that connected to our crocodile clips, then we can spend the rest of the day shorting them out together and plug into the power supply. I'm going to start, we'll just start on 12 volts just in case it's not been on for ages. It's come on channel 9, let's see why. Let's put tone to medium. it's gone. There we go. 20 on there. And high power. We'll start with PA. Should work on the mic gain. Testing 1 2, testing 1 2. So that's fine. I'll put mic gain to full now, and we'll switch to CB. And we'll plug our test gear. And we're going to need an earth wire. We don't normally. We snipped the earth wire off, didn't we, to fit in with these new sets with strange balanced outputs. Doesn't mean to say I can find a crocodile lead set. Ah dear. We'll get on with this video and worry about that later. Channel 40, and we'll see what the VCO has got to say for itself. Resistor 4, we're looking for 4 volts on both transmit and receive. Use that as a earth point. We've got 4.5. Let's see what transmit is. It's 3.6. We're going to have to lower that. I'm going to drop the tool on the floor. Found a crocodile lead clip at the same time. So we're going to have to do this. It's going to end up with channels dropping off. So we've got 4.5, 3.5. So just make a note of that. It's 4.5 plus 3.5. And it should be 4 plus 4. So we'll drop this one first, which is receive, with the coil here. And then we'll press transmit, and that's lowered it even more, and it's the trimmer capacitor. Back to receive, so 4.03 on receive. Right, 4.03 on receive, 4.05 on transmit. And the double check there is it should be something like 1.8 to 2.3 on channel 1. So we've got 2.3, 2.32, so that's fine. Right, that's VCO done. So we'll look at transmit power. Go to 13.8 volts on the power supply. And we'll go to channel 20. And what have we got? We have got 3.2. On channel 40, got 3.1. On channel 1, we've got 3.1. Low power, back to channel 20. I'm not even showing you the right meter. I don't think I even put picture in picture on. We've got nothing on low power. Let's try to see if the switch is dirty. It was. Waggled it around 0.4. It's 900 milliwatts. I'll just start again. It's 90 milliwatts. And the current consumption on full power is 994 milliamps. Just check there's some deviation. Wallow, it's showing 2.6 on this meter, which is okay if it's right, but it isn't if it isn't. I'll go through the transmitter. Then we'll worry about the receiver. So centre of the peak, strange, doesn't want to fit. So on the first coil, which is the yellow one, to maximum as a temporary measure. I want to do this quite quickly because I don't want to melt the PA. Don't ever do what these stupid people do and leave this at full whack like this, thinking they're going to get better range. Because the difference between 4 and this one's doing 4.8 at peak is you know, probably 50 yards extra range. The point is, it will melt the coils. Right, so we want the yellow one clockwise now for 4.4, which is there, and then they want this one anti-clockwise for 3.8, but we're allowed 4, so we're jolly well having 4. They're always set low so they can get through customs. So channel 40 we have 4 watts, channel 1 we have 4 watts, and channel 20 we have 4 watts. So that is very good. You don't want to be more than 0.1 difference, so you can get away with, you know, 3.9 watts at one end and 4.05 say at the other. So I can write down 4 watts, 4 watts and 4 watts. That's really well balanced. Current consumption will now be higher. It's 1.1.144. Let's see whether we can get anything else of low power now. Anything sensible. I think we've got a dirty switch there. Or have we got a dirty preset? I think. Where's the service all gone? Because I can't find the applicator, can I? 400 milliwatts there now. So we'll have a look at the frequency. Test set's been on for hours. $79108. So write that down. 2779108. That's near enough anyway, but we'll see if we can trim it a bit closer to the 2779125. That's the wrong way. I'm not going to go any closer than that. 2779124. And we'll look at the front. I should have checked what the meter said on the front, and it says, back to high power, it says absolutely bang on the 4. I'm just going to give that the merest touch. Just switch it to PA. How did I do that? There we go. And we'll just make a quick look at our initial receive assessment. So we want that earth lead, and we want that on our test equipment speaker input. Signal generator to 2779125. Switch on the SINAD meter. Make sure RF gain's at full. That's 0.3 by the way, as I've switched on. So as it's come, before we do any fiddling around, it's 0.36. 0.36. These are one of those sets that will go down to 0.2 something sometimes, but conversely, I've seen them little better than 0.9 microvolts, and they're still not faulty. It's just a difference. We probably saw that York that I put on eBay, you know, it was 0.19 or something like that. It's 1 in 1,000. You just don't see that kind of thing. And so to 20 dB, we've got 0.48. Just check the squelch. Squelch at the moment, maximum is 100 microvolts, just where I want it to be. And minimum, check that, set the squelch. It's 0.3. Just check where the meter is. 100 microvolts. It's bang on the 9, but we will end up having to adjust that. This hasn't been fiddled with so far. I don't know about the deviation, because it wouldn't have come out doing 2.5. Right, let's see if we can get anything out of this receiver a little bit more. This is where your range is. Better receive. So go to the oscilloscope. Just see whether the detector's in the correct position. No, it's not. And that can make the sensitivity worse, it can make it better, it's got to be right, and that's the peak. So, wow, that's something. Because of that, I better check the IF. I'm looking at the SINAD meter, which we'll put up here. I'm also looking at the meter on the front panel. I'm going to have to turn the sensitivity of that up so I can see any movement. Like that. I'm looking at the oscilloscope, the SINAD meter and the front panel meter all at the same time. And not turning the volume up. I just want to check these are at the right. You can get them the wrong side. Now that's spot on. That's spot on. Tiniest little touch on that. So that's those. We'll do the front end now, solely using the SINAD meter. So dropping the signal, I've got about 6 dB on there. Just see whether we can get a bit more out of this receive. So the first coil hidden by the wiring. That made a difference. That's made a big difference. Drop the signal. That's our peak. Let's have a look at this one. No, that's spot on. And that one, that's spot on. So, detector, the first one there, and a touch on that IF one. Let's see what we've got now for our receive. Oh my goodness, we have done it. We've got 0.2. I'll do 20 next. .31. And for 10, well, it's just gone under 0.2. I'll change ranges, but there's a bit of leeway between. Let's have a look. Yeah, it still says 0.2, so it's just a little bit. It's probably something like 0.199 or something like that. Right, we need to reset the meter so that reads S9. The 455 IF affects the meter, so the fact the detector was out would have affected the meter. Anyway, that leaves us with squelch, so put the squelch to full, and let's see where we are now with the squelch. Let's look at the attenuator, and we have got the squelch to full on the radio. 30. Coming in at 30, so it's now too weak. That's it. Again, the IF, the lower IF affects that. Let's see where the squelch sensitivity now is. Put the signal generator to standby. Squelch on the radio to threshold. Signal generator back on. Still 0.3. So no change, but it all had to be adjusted. We're going to leave it for now. I'm just going to have my tea. We'll come back to it and do the deviation, by which time the other test set will have warmed up. Well, I'll just check the deviation and unplug the extension speaker. Wow, it's 2.2, and I'm going to have to reset it because I want this preset in a particular position, which is central. Right, that's now in the central position. Let's see what it is now. Wow, this is exactly where I want it, 2.5 of a peak. Right, I'll plug back into this test set. Just have a look at what the deviation says on here. Wow, it's exactly the same, so it's not misbehaving today. So that's now, that was 2.0 to 2.2, and it's now 2.2 to 2.5. Look at high-low power again, because I want to recap on that. So we're in high power, it's 4 watts. We're in low power. I don't want to spray that unnecessarily. I'll just work it a few times. I think we're going to have to spray it. So that's it, we are done. We're going to have to get a service on with an applicator. I don't know where my applicator's gone. They go to a planner, don't they, these applicators? That is a really lovely set. We'll cross most of these things off. Right, I've done that on 2 different angles. Let's see if we've got a more positive result for low power. So that's low power. That's high power, low power. Check it's still 400 milliwatts. It is, that's fine. Right, we'll put it together. I've got quite a few Harrier CBXs we could sell, but none of them are in this condition though. I'm sure they can all... I think it's the biggest speaker on these as well. I'm sure they will work really well. Right, I'll switch the test equipment off. I'll knock the scalpel onto the bench. Could have got a new set optimization tomorrow, and it could be a President Walker. For the farming and trucking gentleman. Right, I'll plug the aerial in. That actually feels looser than we like. Got Mr. Chippy getting to scratchy corner and saying it's a bit 10-1. The leaves, the 4 leaves in there can lose their springiness. Seems to happen on Cybernet sets more than most. Okay. What? Low power, high power, low one liner, Roger.
How about you, Michael? You have it.
19 a Roger. There we go. Absolute corker of a Harrier CBX from 1981 using the Cybernet 134 chassis. Thanks for watching.